Hello, and welcome to another episode of Brettcast Gaming Talk. Back in June of 2018, I made a video in which I said that Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is the best mobile game that I've played. That, of course, was back when the game had only been around for a little under a year. Now that Pocket Camp has been around for about 4 years, I know that it's not the best mobile game I've played, and in fact, is becoming such a bore and uninteresting game that I can't think of a single reason to want to log in to the game. On this episode, I'm going to be discussing why I think Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is one of the most boring mobile games that I have ever played. Up until I logged into the game to record the footage for this video, it had been 29 days since I logged into Pocket Camp. I decided while I was on Pocket Camp to record the footage for this video. I'd see what the last logins for other people on my friends lists are. To no one's surprise, a lot of people on my friends list last login was greater than 30 days ago, which is as far as Pocket Camp will count. Only 4 of those people on my friends list had been recently on, which again isn't much of a surprise. Now let me get into the actual meat of the video here. Why has Pocket Camp become the most boring mobile game I've played? Well, the biggest issue is with the overly repetitive nature of the gameplay loop. Yes, I know that most mobile games have a very repetitive gameplay loop, but Pocket Camp just does it in such an uninteresting way. For starters, the absolute basis of its gameplay loop is to just go to the different little islands, or whatever they're called, and collect stuff, and then you get a reward, and you get animals visiting you and they give you reward. But are there not events in the game, I hear you ask? There are, but that is one of the big reasons why Pocket Camp is so boring. There are only 3 types of events in the game, which are garden events, fishing tournament events, and scavenger hunt events. The only thing that is different in any given event is the reward, and to be honest, getting the goods rewards takes an absurd amount of dedicated time to said event. Other than the rewards, there is little to no variety in the events, and that just makes me not want to play the events or the game at all. Plus, they happen like every other week or something. There's events like all the time, and it just doesn't make them feel special anymore. Of course, the other big problem is the microtransactions in Pocket Camp. Pocket Camp uses a secondary in-game currency called leaf tickets. Now, when I made the first video on Pocket Camp, the need for leaf tickets was minimal at that point. However, now the need for leaf tickets has become greater, especially with the limited time and reissue furniture and clothing. You can get some of this furniture and clothing with bells, but most of the good stuff will cost you leaf tickets, and will cost you quite a bit of leaf tickets. You also need leaf tickets for the fortune cookies, which get you random stuff, because it's not a mobile game without some sort of randomized aspect. It's 50 leaf tickets for 1 cookie, or 250 leaf tickets for 5 cookies. Now, there's only one thing that is worse than microtransactions in a mobile game, and that is a subscription service, and Pocket Camp has 2 of them. The first is the Happy Helper plan that costs $2.99 a month. You get 60 leaf tickets, you get to pick a camp helper that can take care of requests and gather items for events, you get shorter crafting times, and several other things that I have up on the screen here. The second is the Furniture and Fashion plan that costs $7.99 a month. You get to pick 5 fortune cookies each month, you get extra warehouse storage, save 10 more outfits, and a whole host of other things that I have up on screen. So, basically for around $11 a month, you get a lot more to the game, but the only problem is that these subscription services, they're really only viable for people who play Pocket Camp on a very regular basis. That would also get pretty expensive, though, given that you'd be spending around $130 a year for both of those subscription services. It's easy for me to say that with a game like Pocket Camp, Nintendo is more interested in making money through microtransactions and subscription services than an interesting and worthwhile game that will make players not only want to play the game more, but also spend their money. After about 4 years, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp has become one of the most boring and uninteresting mobile game experiences. That's all I have to say, so if you want to add to the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye.